What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word? Hummingbird. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Season 9, Episode 13, the Thais and Patrick review. So, Thais and Patrick, where do we start? Okay, so Patrick tells Thais that he would rather them get married in Orlando, Florida, because I think his family is going to be having some type of a gathering in Orlando, or they live in Orlando. But either way, his family is already going to be in Orlando around the time that they want to get married. Now, he wants to get married February the 22nd. 22 is his lucky number, and on that date, his whole family will be in Orlando, so he doesn't have to worry about people traveling. They will travel to them. She wants to get married in Las Vegas. And so they kind of get into it about that. And then she gets upset because it's like, okay, it's always your way. Whatever you want is whatever, you always get whatever you want. And you don't take my feelings into consideration or what I want into consideration. Okay, fine. So they argue about that. Later on, Thais goes out with her friends and she tells her friends that, she hasn't told her dad yet about getting married to Patrick. Her friends encourage her that she does need to tell her dad that that is the best thing for her to do. And then Thais tells him that Patrick is very controlling, and she gives him an example that he chose her makeup artist for her. And so the friends are like, oh no, that's not good. He can't do that. That's not right. And so that's one of her issues with Patrick, is that he's very controlling. He makes all the decisions in their relationship. He doesn't consult with her at all, and she just has to fall in line. So later on, Patrick goes shopping with his brother John for his tuxedo for the wedding. And they talk about how Thais still has not told her father. Patrick tells his brother that I will not marry her until she tells her dad. So that's not negotiable with me at all. She has to tell her dad before we get married, or we don't get married. Then they talk about their communication problems. So now we get more information about the whole makeup artist. So Patrick tells his brother that Thais chose the makeup artist because when she told her friends about the makeup artist, she made it seem like Patrick did everything. He chose the makeup artist, he signed the contract, and boom, that's what she stuck with. But she was the one that actually chose the makeup artist. She gave the information to Patrick. Patrick automatically booked the makeup artist. And Thais was upset because she didn't want him to book the makeup artist before she had a chance to talk to the makeup artist. So I don't know how she was going to do that. I don't know if there was going to be a language issue, or if the makeup artist spoke Portuguese or what. I have no idea. But that was what she was upset about. And I was like, okay, well, that's not as bad as the way she made it seem with her friends. Okay, it's not that bad at all, because she chose the makeup artist. And I guess when she sent the information to Patrick, he assumed, okay, this is what she wants. Let me go ahead and book it, because they're kind of like short on time. So if she wasn't ready to book this particular makeup artist, then she shouldn't have sent the information to Patrick. So anyway, then they also talk about how Patrick was telling his brother, I'm doing everything and it's a lot of stress for me. I'm taking care of her. I'm dealing with the household. I'm the one working. I'm the one arranging the wedding, and it's a lot for me. And so the brother's like, well, have you told her how you felt? And he says no, because he's not that very communicative. He doesn't really express his feelings, and he just keeps everything bottled up inside. Now, this is the one time that I actually agreed with his brother John. His brother John was telling him, look, you need to talk to her. However you're feeling, you need to communicate with her. You can't keep things bottled in, because you know how that's affected us as children or whatever. It's not good to keep things bottled in. So that's like the one time that I've totally agreed with John. He does need to express to his fiance exactly how he's feeling with the pressure and all of this. So then later on, Patrick and Thais have an argument. Patrick feels like he's doing everything. He finally tells her how he feels. He's like, I'm doing everything. It's a lot of pressure for me. And it seems like you don't even care enough to tell your dad that you're getting married to me. And I'm like running around like a chicken with no head, trying to take care of everything. And you can't even do the decent thing of telling your dad that you're getting married. So they kind of go back and forth on that. But then she finally agrees that she is going to tell her dad. And the truth of the matter is, she doesn't want to tell her dad because she says her dad does not like Patrick. And she doesn't want to break his heart by telling him, my dad just doesn't like you. That's why I haven't told him that I'm marrying you, because the dad thinks that American men have really no good reason to be with Brazilian women other than to deceive them and use them and all kinds of horrible things. So all I can say is, Thais, you don't want to start your marriage with all of this deception. You need to be honest with Patrick and tell him the reason why you're afraid to tell your dad. Not just, it's my dad, my business. and I tell him when I feel like it, because then it comes off all wrong to Patrick. He thinks that maybe you are ashamed of him or you're hiding something from whatever it is. It's not a good look. You should have just told you should have just told Patrick the truth and said, look, the reason why I haven't told my dad is because my dad doesn't like you, and my dad is very prejudiced against American men, and whatever. Just tell him the truth and he'll deal with it the way he wants to deal with it. He might not even be hurt. He might be understanding. He might be like, okay, I understand. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to work really hard to prove to him that I'm not like that or whatever. But just tell the man the truth. And then as far as you not telling your dad, that's also wrong. You should have told your dad from the beginning that you were going there to get married to Patrick. And because in her confessional, she bragged about how she's very, very fiercely independent, because she was talking about how it's new for her to have to do whatever Patrick wants her to do, because in Brazil, she did everything on her own. She was fiercely independent. She didn't have to ask anybody for anything. But then this independent woman cannot tell her father that she's going to America to get married to the man of her dreams and the love of her life. She doesn't even have the guts to tell her father that. Like, what do you think your father is going to do? If your father is going to disown you, then that's his loss. If he can't take the fact that you're going to marry this American man, he doesn't want nothing to do with you afterwards, that's his loss. You still have to live your life and do whatever you want to do for yourself, whatever you think is best for you. So girl, tell your dad, tell Patrick the truth. Let's get over this and let's move on with it. That is my review of Patrick and Thais. Thank you so much for joining me. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe, and I'll definitely talk to you later.